Hello, I'm the Dude, and today I'm going to be going over the 2020 Seasonal Visions Flesh-Eating Zombie redesign. Now, this guy, well, as I said, came out in 2020 along with the Uncle Charlie remake. This guy was online only, Spirit exclusive, and oddly enough, not a lot of them were made, seemingly. And not a lot of people bought them either. They seem pretty scarce. Like, if you looked on the website, even when I bought this, there was only like 8 other people who had reviewed it, as opposed to like, Uncle Charlie who had like 200 reviews. So, I don't know. It's very strange how little people bought this animatronic. And it's definitely not coming back this season, so I'm going to assume that it's going to become very rare in the future. But anyway, I actually got the last one because as soon as I bought it for 200, the listing disappeared and it said it was sold out. So I got the last one. Yeah, not very many of these were made, and I doubt they're coming back this year since he wasn't particularly popular, even being an online only. He's a remake of a 2011 Spirit exclusive called, Flesh Eating Zombie. That one was when Seasonal Visions was still getting their footing, so it wasn't designed particularly well. The speaker was dog shit, the motor would die out very easily, and overall it just wasn't the best of quality because, once again, Seasonal Visions was still getting their shit together. But this one, of course, is built like a tank, newer Seasonal Visions construction, and I could not be happier with him. The only problem is, of course, the faces can look a little bit weird sometimes. Oh, the glasses aren't original, by the way, I put those on him. Mine's face was very thin. It still is pretty thin, but the glasses kind of make it look less thin. But overall, his face does look pretty good. He sort of had the problem with a Peekaboo Clown and the remake Uncle Charlie, where his mask gets a little warped sometimes. But this one, thankfully, is pretty good. It was a little messed up when I got it, but I fixed it a little bit. Yeah. The hand he's holding is latex. It's the same material. It's squishy. And I think Seasonal Visions might have actually sold it as a separate prop at some point. Which, yeah, that's about right. And yeah, he's 6 foot. Actually, I think maybe like 6'1", because I'm 5'11", I think, and he is more than an inch taller than me. And this is when he's standing straight up because he leans side to side, but he doesn't have like a relay switch. So if you want to reset him like this, you have to turn him on the continuous mode, and then right when he's standing like you want him to, shut him off. That's the one thing that I don't like about this animatronic, is that it doesn't have a relay switch. Because the way the mech works is under his shirt, there's 2 big springs on each side of his hips that make it so that the mechanism for his leaning doesn't have too much stress on it. But if you leave him on while he's leaning over to one side, that'll put a lot more stress on the springs, and I don't like that. The springs are pretty damn durable, so I don't think even... It's not like the Techie Toys jumping ones, like Jumping Spider over there, where if you leave them in the down position, they will just kind of degrade over time. It's not like that, since this spring is a lot bigger, and it just has to kind of exist, as opposed to pushing it up as much. And, but it just kind of makes me nervous, and also I think he just kind of looks good like this. I wish they had added a relay switch. I wish they had done the same thing with Charlie, where they have it so that he resets in the middle. I'm not sure why they didn't do that, but I don't really mind. I love him, though. I love his clothes, and I just love the way he looks in general. He is about as detailed as the original, actually. Because a lot of complaints with the new remake Charlie, was that it wasn't as detailed as the original one, and I think they kind of got that down better with this guy. Like, the latex looks about as detailed as the original plastic on the first model. At least in my opinion, it does. This one features, obviously, a moving mouth, like most Seasonal Visions props do now, and also one of those infrared sensors as opposed to the shitty light sensor, which is right there. His base is pretty big. You can see it next to Deadlift Zombie and Face Ripper over there. But yeah, his base is bigger than like Charlie's, for example. And I think that's primarily because of the fact that since he leans side to side, and also his legs are kind of spread out more. You can see his shoes right here. They're made out of a much like thicker plastic than like Charlie or Wacky Mole this year, because those ones are more thin since they're, you know, bigger. But this guy's shoes are pretty thick, and they're really well made actually. He has the little things on the front of the base that keep his feet in the same direction that they're supposed to be, which is convenient. He's very loud at full volume, of course, because Seasonal Vision's newer speakers are really good. And, yeah. He's got the continuous mode, of course. He's got volume control. He works on a step pad and a try me button, although he doesn't work very well on a step pad, or maybe it's just that all of my step pads are kind of bad. But in general, he works very well, and I couldn't be happier with him. Although, there is one issue with mine, and that is the pole that moves the head as the hips move. It has a plastic spindle piece on it, which sometimes scrapes against the pole and creates a creaking sound, and then once it's released, it makes this loud click. But that's not really a mechanical issue considering how strong the motor is. It doesn't hinder it at all. It's just a little loud, you know. But in all fairness, the motor for the original was sometimes louder than the audio, so I would much prefer this over that. But anyway, I'll try to activate him. Fucking step head. You could probably hear it when he goes to the left, he clicks, but you can't really hear the creaking. I fixed it for the most part. It used to be a lot louder than this, and I'm not sure if that's a specific defect with mine, or that's just kind of how these are. Again, not many other people own these, so he's really loud. I really love his mouth movement, because how they do it is that it'll open once, and then it'll keep triggering on and off, so his head kind of vibrates, and it's really cool how they do that. I really quite like it, because they don't just have the mouth like kept open, they have it like shake. Also if you look closely, you can see that his shoulders are kind of like up, so it looks like he has like a hunchback, and I really like that. They did a pretty similar thing on Lurching Zombie back in 2014, although his left shoulder was a lot more raised up. But in general, I like that detail. I don't know why. It makes him look more like a zombie. But anyway, I love this guy a lot. He's such a good animatronic. He's, so far, in my opinion, my favorite SVI remake. I love the new Charlie, but I have to admit it's not as creepy as the original, although it still leaks better in every other way. And the new Wacky, I feel like they could have done a little bit more with his movement. I mean, come on, guys. Like, not mouth movement or anything, but how maybe even, like, raising his arm slightly, you know? That would have been sick. But, in general, this guy is my favorite because he kept very faithful to the style of the original while updating everything else about it. And I love this prop so much. I would say pick one up if you can, but they're out of stock, and I'm pretty sure, once again, they're not coming back. So, I'm generally really glad that I have him. Also, his hand, it doesn't look like it on video, but it's weirdly massive. Like, the first time I ever took him out of the box, I was really... I was really confused as to how big his hand was. It was really... I don't know. It was strange. Off topic, but I think the only thing I really like about the original, more than this, is that the original one's eyes are a bit dimmer. And I don't know, I feel like that works a little bit better. But that's like just a minor thing with me. And it also could look a bit brighter because of the glasses. I don't know. But regardless, this is one of my favorite life sizes that I own. I am really happy to have him, and in general, he's just an amazing prop. And that's really about it about this guy. There's not much to him. He's a remake, a really good one at that. Seasonal Vision's very, very good quality. I suck that company's dick. Oh my god, I love that company so much. And yeah, I may as well activate him one more time. At least try to. This step pad is awful. Yeah, that's about it about him. Anyway, we'll see you next time with a review of another animatronic. His teeth are very yellow, damn.